Hello, Merry Meat. So I want to review a book. The book I want to review is this one. The Book of Kitchen Witchery by Cerridwen Greenleaf. I bet that's her given name. And it is published by Chico Books. So, for those who don't know, kitchen magic is basically almost a form of folk magic, a modern take on folk magic, which bases itself on doing magic in the kitchen. It can be magic through food or magic using your average typical kitchen tools rather than anything fancy. And really, that's how a lot of folk magic began. The reason why we have a cauldron as a tool within magic is that that's what people used. If you look at all the tools, a broom, a cauldron, all of these things were things that people used in their everyday lives, and kitchen magic picks up on that. So let's see, what does this book contain? First of all, the book looks very cozy. It has these nice pastel drawings, or are they paintings? I'm not completely sure, but they are very cute, pastel-y, and makes it feel very homely and cozy. So yes, let's find the index. If I could actually find the index, that would be good. And you can see these illustrations are all through the book. There's the index. So we have A Charmed Life, which goes through basically the thing that I really like, which is having magic as part of your everyday life. You have the kitchen altar, which should be pretty self-explanatory. It goes through basically having your kitchen as your holy working area. Tools of the trade, tools of kitchen magic, succulent spells for magical meals, very nice. Brewing up blessings, magic beverages of all kinds. Kitchen cupboard cures. I cannot talk today, which is basically all sort of folk remedies, old wife advice, those sort of things, and for things that you find in an average cupboard for various ills and problems. The kitchen witch's garden, things that you can use from a garden, cooking up lots of love, which is recipes, and celebrating the wheel of the year, which brings a pagan religion into it. That doesn't necessarily have to be a part of kitchen magic. Then you have journaling your spellcraft, which is also pretty self-explanatory. And you have an index and acknowledgements. Let me just adjust the camera a bit. There we go. So, yeah. As you can see, like I said, the illustrations continue all through it. And the pages are thick. They are very thick, and they have this sort of textured feel to it. So it feels like an old notebook. It's a very pretty book. This book here is very pagan. There's a lot of books on kitchen magic, and some of them are more towards basically the more practical side, because kitchen magic is in and of itself a very practical tradition. It's basically, oh, you have a cough. Let me just then add some things against cough in this meal, and you'll have that, or I'll brew you some tea, so on and so forth. While this is very pagan and has sort of made it a pagan tradition. Then I'm talking about Neo Paganism here, with celebrating the wheel of the year, having the more traditional tools, but with a kitchen-y feel to it. So instead of having your dedicated atame, you might use your regular kitchen knife, but you still have those tools, and you do rituals in for those reasons. There's nothing wrong with that. It's definitely a very valid craft, and it's a very good way to get magic into your everyday life. Because I think that there's a lot of people, they do the Asbats, they do the Sabbats, and I don't really feel a connection to the craft anyway. And I think that very often this is because even if you then celebrate 20 rituals a year, then that's still not really a part of your life. It's a little bit the same as going to church on the holidays. It doesn't make you a practicing Christian. To be practicing, you sort of have to bring it into your life. It has to be part of your everyday life. And that doesn't mean spend hours in ritual each day, but being aware of it and doing little rituals and having your religion and your magical practice as a part of your everyday life. And a book like this celebrates that. So I think that's a very good thing. But if you're looking for just kitchen magic as a sort of religion neutral alternative, then this book won't give you that. There's a lot of recipes in here. So let me see if I can't find it. There's some recipes for just magical things like incenses and such. For example, here we have some incense recipes, but there are some really good recipes for if you have basil, presto perfection. That's just basically regular food, but by knowing the meanings of the ingredients and the colors and traditional uses of that dish, you can work magic with it. And I really love that. At times, this book takes a little bit of water over its head, in that it has, oh, here's magical uses of essential oils, here's incenses, here's this, here's that, and it sort of has tiny little boxes of information for what really are huge topics. But it do work out for the most part, because usually those are more like little tidbits to be able to work with the other things in here. I do think this is a pretty good book. If you're looking for a kitchen magic book that is more religious in nature, that is more pagan in nature, and by that I mean neo-pagan, then this is a book for you. It is very well made, it's pretty, it's very thorough in that all the pages has this slightly textured look. There's illustrations everywhere. It's a very nice, beautiful book, and as such, it's also a very good gift because it's so pretty. Just a random pages, you see all the illustrations. So yeah, there's spells, there's recipes, there's ideas for using what's in your cupboard for magic. It's a good book. There's a lot of useful information in here. So is this one of the books that you must have? Well, it depends. There's not that many good books on kitchen witchcraft out there. So if that's something that you're really interested in, then I recommend this book. It will be a good addition to your library. If you are more into practical magic with no religious background, then you will still find a lot of good things in here, because a lot of these spells are not really religious in nature. So you will also find the way to connect the pagan wheel of the year, basically practicing paganism in the form of kitchen witchery. So that makes it a pretty interesting little book. But if you're not that big into kitchen witchcraft, then this might not be for you. But yeah, all in all, I'm really happy with this book. I'll give it 8 out of 10. I would have really loved it to be a little bit longer to allow it to expand on some subjects. But all in all, this is a great book with a lot of useful information in it. And while it might be a little bit on the fluffy side, and mind you, I do not use fluffy as some sort of insult to say it's fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. I have never seen that as an insult. By that I simply mean it's light-natured and easy. That's the original meaning of the term fluffy within paganism. It's basically, it's not, doesn't address a lot of the dark stuff, and it is pretty light-hearted, but sometimes that's just what you need. There's a lot of practical stuff in here. These spells are practical, and sometimes that's just what you need. So yeah, that's my review of the Book of Kitchen Witchery by Cerridwen Greenleaf. Hope you have enjoyed this review. Have a great day, and blessed be.